Hello learners, I welcome you all to my channel Educating Young Minds, where today we will study chapter 4th of class 6 science NCERT, that is sorting materials into groups. So before moving forward, it's very important to understand that what are objects and what are materials and how they are different from one another. We have already studied in chapter 1 that food is made up of one or more ingredients. In the similar manner, an object is made up of one or more material. So basically what we want to say here is that an object is a thing that is made up of one or more material. If you look around, you will find yourself surrounded by a variety of objects. Your table, chairs, blackboard, chalk, pen, pencil, eraser, almirah, fans, AC, utensils, door, your toys, your computer, laptops, your clothes, shoes, sofa, TV, fridge, all of these are objects. I have already told you that an object could be made up of only one material or it could be made up of many materials. So let's take some examples. Here we have a wooden chair that is made up of just one material, that is wood. On the other side, we have a pencil that is made up of many materials, rubber, metal, wood, and graphite. So now I believe that you have completely understood the difference between object and materials. Here the pencil is an object and rubber, metal, wood and graphite are the materials. Now you need to understand two important things, that an object could be made up of large variety of materials. What I mean to say is that a table or a chair could be made up of wood or plastic or iron. Similarly, the utensils could be made up of plastic or iron or aluminium or steel. Your clothes could be made up of cotton fabric or silk or polyester or nylon. The other thing which you need to understand is that a given material could be used to make a large variety of objects. For example, wood could be used to make chair, table, bed, door, plough, bullock cart, boat, etc. Similarly, paper could be used to make books, calendars, newspapers, magazines, paper bag, etc. Steel could be used to make vehicles and utensils. Glass could be used to make mirrors, beakers, test tubes, etc. Now we know that there are variety of materials and these variety of materials are used to make different objects. But how do we decide that a particular material is suitable for making a particular type of object? Why always a window is made of glass? Why a cup is made up of plastic or clay and not of cloth? Why a chair or a table is made up of wood or plastic and not with paper? The answer is very simple. Based on properties of material, they are used for making different objects. For example, a tea or coffee mug is always made with clay or plastic material because its purpose is to hold the liquid. And if we try to make a coffee mug with cloth material, it will not be able to hold the liquid. Similarly, windows are always fixed with glass so that we can always see outside even when they are closed. So now we know that based on property of a particular material, it is used for making different objects. Now we will study about properties of materials. Different properties which we will study are appearance, hardness, solubility, whether the material floats or sinks in liquid, and its transparency. So first property which we will study is appearance. Appearance is basically how a material looks. Based on appearance, the materials are classified as shiny and non-shiny. For example, metals such as gold, silver, diamond, iron, copper, aluminium are very shiny. Whereas if we talk about woods and plastics, they are dull and non-shiny. So the next property is hardness. Based on hardness of materials, the materials are classified as hard and soft. The materials that are difficult to compress or scratch, for example iron, wood, stone and glass, are classified as hard materials, whereas the materials that can be compressed or stretched easily are known as soft materials, for example cotton, sponge, rubber, wool, etc. That's why a chair is always made of wood or plastic, because its purpose is to sustain the load of a person who is sitting on it. And similarly, your pillows and your bed sheets and your mattresses are made of soft cotton material. So now we will study about solubility of material in water. So the substances that completely disappear or dissolve in water are said to be soluble in water. For example, salt and sugar. Whereas the substances that do not mix with water and do not disappear even after we stir it for a long time are said to be insoluble in water. For example, sand and oil. Here we have a list of materials that are soluble and insoluble in water. For example, salt, sugar are soluble in water, whereas sand, chalk powder, sawdust, mustard oil, coconut oil are insoluble in water. So, a soluble material will completely dissolve in water like this, whereas an insoluble material like oil will not dissolve in the water and will form a separate layer like this. The next property which we need to study is whether a material will float or sink in the water. You must have observed that when you put a plastic bottle or a rubber ball or a paper boat in water, it generally floats in the water. Whereas if you put sand, stone, coins, etc. in water, they will generally sink in the water. The idea is the objects that are denser than water will sink in the water, whereas the objects that are less denser than the water will float in the water. This means that the density of sand, stone and coins is higher than the density of water, whereas the density of a plastic bottle or a rubber ball, a paper boat is less than the density of water. So the last property which we need to study is transparency. Based on transparency, the materials are divided into transparent, opaque and translucent. Those substances or materials through which things can be seen are called transparent materials. For example, glass, water, air and some plastics. Materials through which we are not able to see are called opaque materials. For example, wood, metals, plastic, cardboard, wall, tree, etc. And the materials through which objects can be seen but not clearly are known as translucent materials. For example, butter paper or a oily patch on paper. Now look at this picture given here. This is a transparent object because the boy here is capable of seeing on the other side of this object. Now this is an opaque object, like we have given the examples here, that wood, plastic or cardboard, because the boy here is not capable of seeing the other side of this object. Now this is a translucent object because the boy can see partially through it. Now you must have understood that why your mother keeps spices in transparent glass bottles, so that without even opening it, she can pick the spice which she wants to use. Similarly, why in chemistry laboratories these beakers are made with transparent glass materials, so that you can observe any change in the color while doing chemical reactions. Why always in a bakery shop in the front you will find a transparent glass window, so that you can choose your favorite food just by looking at it. And that is the reason that we have wooden opaque doors in our homes, so that no one can look into our homes from outside. So before wrapping up this chapter, it is important to understand that why sorting of materials or objects is needed. You must have seen that in a library, the books are always arranged in different sections according to subjects and classes, so that it becomes very easy to locate a particular book. Similarly, in a grocery shop, you will see that biscuits are placed in one section, the fruits, vegetables are placed in another section, your favorite drinks are placed in another section, and it becomes very easy to locate a particular item. Similarly, dividing these materials in groups makes it convenient to study their property and also observe any pattern in these properties. With this, we come to an end. I hope you liked the video. If yes, then please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.